Welcome back to the show. This is your host, Dave Yanez, and you're watching Ignite Your Day. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of this broadcast. We are excitedly talking about just the things that have happened this year, the supernatural stuff that's occurred, besides the healings, besides the miracles that we've seen, besides people just being blessed or touched by the word of God and everything that we're putting together. It was amazing to see, like I told you before, the cloud coming into our recording studio that we were using the conference room. And now that we're over here in this room and setup that we have, I like it. It's a little bit more intimate. It's a little bit more easy to set up. I just hit the lights, do the recording, put the camera together, get the recording, and get it to you. We're praying and believing for a bigger building in 2021. We're praying and believing that God will deliver something wonderful for us, and we're growing just like you're growing, and we're believing just like you're believing that God's going to do something amazing for us. But that cloud was just an amazing stamp, just saying, boom, approved. This show is good to go, and it's anointed, and we're sending it out. That's what that cloud told me, that I'm doing the right thing at the right hour, the right time. A lot of times we wonder if we're able to do that and able to change and move and do the things that are supposed to be done. But God's able. God's able to do it, and God's able to move in wondrous ways for you. The other thing that happened, besides that wonderful cloud that we've seen, and besides the oil that this Bible produces, and just the aroma that comes out of it, was the gold. Just kept coming in. I know a lot of you are just wondering, what am I talking about gold? It's just sparkles of gold just everywhere. In fact, it just follows wherever I preach, wherever I've gone. Even people I've talked to on the phone. I'm praying for a friend, and they're on the phone, and I'm in a different country. I'm praying for them, and gold came on their hands. Gold came on their hands when I was praying for them. It's amazing. And I didn't hear from them for a few minutes, and then they finally came back to the phone and said, I can't believe it, but I don't want to say that, but I see gold all over my hands. All over my hands. It's an amazing, wonderful thing. And I was in Peru and prayed for a few people, and I showed them the gold. The only time it really didn't really see it as much, it was in Pittsburgh or Mansfield, but we eventually seen it. But I know that when I go out and do the work of God, that God's with me, that his angels are with me, that as I'm moving about, God's presence is with me. And because I know that, the gold is there. The gold is there. The gold is moving, and it's around you. And we see that happen a lot all over Hawaii, all over Peru, all over New Mexico, and Laredo. There's plenty of gold everywhere. And it's amazing to see the gold there. And people are astonished when they see it. They're like, wow, what is this? Well, that's just God's presence. It's here. Let me tell you something that this is something that happened just 2 nights ago. Something happened 2 nights ago. And no one's really heard this, so you're going to be the first to hear this. But I was making some chili for the family, and I wanted to make some cornbread with it. So I used my skillet, one of my skillet, the small skillet pan. I made this thick cornbread. Now I'm making you hungry. I'm sorry, I talk about food in my ministry, and people always go and find something to eat that I just talked about. So someone's going to get some cornbread in a minute. But it was that thick, came out perfectly, and I had to put it in the oven an extra 10 minutes just to make sure it browned on top and it was cooked thoroughly. But when you're using a skillet, you have that consistency of heat, so it does get cooked correctly. Well, as I was putting it out there, let it cool down, and my wife was coming over to the kitchen to check out the cornbread, it came out really good. I noticed right away, I didn't want to say anything, but I noticed right away there was a piece of a gold dust right in the middle of that cornbread. Now, my wife looked at me, and I looked at my wife. I said, do you see that? Well, she goes, I think I see something. She's seen another one, other piece. Well, all over this cornbread, and I do not know why this happened with cornbread. All over this cornbread that I baked personally, And I didn't do it by homemade. I used the package and threw the milk and the eggs in it and stirred it and put it in the pan. But I know how to cook. And I did not use any gold flakes. There's no icing of gold that I put on this thing. And the gold went on other parts of that bread. We had, I would say, just sparkles of gold all over that cornbread. I'd take a picture, I would, but every time I've tried to photograph the gold, it was always gone. Which brings me to Hawaii. Hawaii, this last trip that we took, pandemic hit, people weren't showing up to our event, but on the sycamore tree, just on the trunk of the sycamore tree, all the way up to your height and further, sparkles of gold as the sun set on that gold. As the sun rested on that tree, sparkles of gold all the way down the bark. Amazing to see what God does, that God's presence is there. So we've seen the gold. We've seen the oil on the stage in Laredo. Back to that cornbread. Isn't that crazy? And the cornbread. Yeah, we ate the cornbread because it was good. And I don't know if we digested gold or whatever. But I took that time to honor God and praise Him for just seeing the sparkles of gold on the cornbread. And I went and prayed for all my kids in the house. And they're all in college, except for one's going to be a senior next year in high school. But she's a junior now. And I prayed for my wife. And I prayed for, I don't think I prayed for me. But anyway, I prayed for everyone. And then we broke the bread, literally. And we ate chili with cornbread that had gold flakes in it. And we had sparkles on a tree in Hawaii. But we also had oil on the stage, and I shared that in the previous episode. But in Laredo, the first time I seen oil just come up off the table or the pulpit floor of the pulpit, the stage, if you will, and just puddles this big and little ones, big ones, all the way across. And you wipe it, and it comes right back. The oil. Amazing things that we've seen this year. I can't wait till 2021. I can't wait till the next year after that. I can't wait till the next year after that. I can't wait till to see God do some amazing things. The pandemic didn't stop God. Amazing to see the supernatural even in this crazy time. Hey, we're going to be right back with another great Igniter.